All right, it is super windy. 2 days ago we tried shooting this video and I made it through 7 targets before I lost 3 arrows. Comment below how many targets we make it through before we miss the first arrow. All right, there's our miss number 1. That was incredibly high. If you guessed 3 targets below, I'll be giving you a thumbs up. So now we're gonna try it again, because when you lose 3 arrows doing something, you should do it again. The goal was to shoot unknown until I lost 3 arrows, but I only made it through 7 targets, and it got about 5 minutes of usable footage out of that whole thing. So today we're trying it again. We have a little bit faster bow. We have the Darton, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna shoot 1 arrow known, 1 arrow unknown, 10 targets at SVA. I'm gonna try to shoot from either targets that I don't normally shoot or from a place where I don't normally shoot. How much better? There's a wasp and I gotta go. All right, what I was saying before the wasp attacked me, we're gonna shoot 10 targets, unknown with our first shot, known with our second shot. I'll put the distances here just so that you know what I'm shooting at. First target, we have this Aoudad at, I'm gonna say like 23 yards. I'm gonna say 23. I don't really have any marks between my 20 and 30, so we're gonna say it's right there. Oh, that's absolutely smoked. I got 23.3, which that's incredible. It's almost like I arranged it before I shot it. Plot twist. Completely kidding. That's an 11 and a 10 or 2 11s, either way. Really happy with that. Ironically, I got an 11 with my unknown, but a 10 with my known, +1 through 1. All right, so I most definitely shot 2 arrows with the camera off at the white ram, and then I ranged it for my second shot, so I don't want to do that again. We're gonna do the brown ram instead. I'll call it a whole 10 yards further. So I'm gonna shoot it for 60 up here, and then I'll range it and shoot a second arrow. Ooh. That shot broke really good, but it did not hit behind the pin. It was actually 62. It's a pretty good guess. 1 yard doesn't seem like it would drop that much, but maybe a little bit me, a little bit the wrong distance kind of combination. Ooh, that's neck, and I punched it. All right, so that's a 5 and an 8. We'll count those. So that's target number 2. Then we have target number 3 over here, which is, I think, 2 5s. No bueno. I haven't missed any targets, which is good, but that's another 2 5s. All right, target number 4, we're not doing so hot. We've got this elk. I bet you we're 10 yards further than normal, so I'm gonna shoot my first one for 70, and I'm gonna aim center of the core just to make sure we don't miss. I heard foam. It's a little high center of the core. Rangefinder says 71, so that's unfortunately probably my fault because I was a little bit afraid of missing low. This time we're gonna aim right at it. I think it's a touch low, maybe a 10. Probably squeeze a 10, it's a little low for an 11. All right, it's a little hard to shoot completely unknown just because I shoot out here all the time. So we're gonna try this elk at a different distance. I'm gonna say this is 35, maybe closer to 40, so I'm actually gonna put it right between. I'm gonna put it at 37 and just aim right at the middle and hope that it's a little high or low, kind of works itself out just because of how fast it is. We're just put it right in the middle, and then we'll range it. That was a little high, so I'm gonna say it's probably 35. It's 34.7. Normally we shoot this at 60, so 40 or 35 or whatever feels quite easy, which is great. That's what you want. You want that to feel like a chip shot. All right, so we got a 10, 11, 10. This was our first unknown shot from further back, unknown shot from closer, known from closer, known from further away. Pretty happy with those. Now move on to the next one, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? I can't speak English. I will say this is something I don't do often and that I need to do more of is the judging. The reason being is for when you're hunting, sometimes you just don't have time to range, and generally speaking, I just miss opportunities if I can't range because I know I'm not a good judger, as you can see right now. But that said, it is good to practice, and we're getting close to hunting season, so it's kind of time for final checks and for getting as ready as we can be. I've never shot the polar bear from right here We're just up by these elk. I'm gonna say 35 and just hold middle. That shot broke really well. Looks like it might be a low right 10. I'm getting 33.6 to its head, which I'm crazy I missed low. Oh, I put it at 28. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, so you can believe me. If you don't believe me, whatever. So 33, which that's about right actually. Try one more time here. That should be right there. An 11 or a 10, if not 11. All right, my first one was a little bit low, but I smoked an 11 with my known distance shot. Now we're gonna shoot at this leopard, which I've never shot before. Well, I've shot it before, that's not true, but I don't normally shoot it. The stag I think is like 67, 68. And I'm gonna say that's 10 yards in front of it. So I'm gonna go 58. I hit foam. Confession, I don't actually know where the scoring rings are on this thing. Oh my word. It's 49 yards. I got lucky that I missed super right. Otherwise I would have missed the target completely. 49 yards. I should have used my binos. That was all kinds of a mistake. Honestly, the scoring rings are underneath that. It's just, holy cow. Was that a bad guess? I think that's low. I don't know, man. That was terrible. Both of those are 5s. Neither of them were really good shots. Yeah, okay. I just suck. All right, I'm just gonna walk backwards until I put my bow down. And wherever I put my bow down is where I'm gonna shoot the right wolf and the female moose. We're gonna do that as soon as I finish this little sentence because I can't speak apparently, and that's right here. Wherever this is. That seems like a good. We're gonna have to do one shot and then known shot, because if I shoot the wolf with a rangefinder, then it'll tip me off to the far one. So, all right, first off we have the wolf. I'll call it 40 yards. Did I make a great shot? Heck yeah, that's a great shot. Now the moose, if I called that 37, if that's 40, call it another 20. I'm gonna call it 65. Ooh, that was quite low. All right, since we're on the moose, we'll do that first and then we'll go back to the, I got 65.5. 3 yards, that seems really low for 3 yards difference, but could have also been me, I guess. That's like perfectly center of the core. It's actually probably a little bit left of scoring ring. Let's go back and do the wolf. 38.4. Try to put it just to the left of that one that's already in it. What the heck? That was a terrible shot. I keep it real, even when it sucks. Obviously, I have a lot of learning to do on the judging side of things, but I make better shots when I'm guessing, I guess. I don't know, man. All right, these are actually both 8s. I thought this was better than it was. That was just a terrible shot. 2 8s. All right, an 11 with our known shot. Really happy with that at 65 yards. Terrible shot here. Didn't have the right distance and obviously wasn't in the middle. That doesn't seem like 3 yard difference at 60 to me. Probably should have been more like here. So I was low regardless. But we got one more target. We're actually going to shoot the antelope as the last one in honor of antelope season next week. So let's do that real quick and get out. All right, last target of the day. We have an antelope. This feels like ground blind distance. I'm gonna call it 30 yards. I feel like that's a good guess. Oh, super low. I'm getting 42. That's crazy. It doesn't really look like it. I caught a 5 only because I hit it, but like that would have missed completely. Good kill shot, a little bit low for scoring rings. All right, let's go pull that and tally up our score. If you would, please stick around. I'm gonna do a gospel takeaway at the end of this video. If not, I wanna say thank you so much for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. Our goal now is to get to 2,000 before April, which would be our 2.5 year mark. I'm just really grateful for those who are interested in what I have going on. All right, definitely not the best way to end it. Not the best note to leave on, but still pretty fun nonetheless. I don't practice judging very much, so it's a good thing to do, especially with hunting season coming up. Definitely have to practice a little bit more and try to get better at it, but I appreciate you watching. Catch you later. All right, everybody, welcome. Today we're on week 4 of our 4-week study through the Gospel of John. Today we're going through John 13, 19 through 38, which comes right after Jesus washes the disciples' feet. The disciples tell Jesus that he shouldn't be doing that, and that's the purpose for which he came, as a metaphor for washing them in the Spirit. He's also just announced that one of the disciples will betray him, but the disciples don't know who that is yet. And then we pick up in verse 18, which says, I am not speaking of all of you. I know whom I have chosen, but the scripture will be fulfilled. He who ate my bread and has lifted his heel against me. I am telling you this now before it takes place, that when it does take place, you may believe that I am he. Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever receives the one I send receives me, and whoever receives me receives the one who sent me. After saying these things, Jesus was troubled in his spirit and testified, Truly, truly, I say to you, one of you will betray me. The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he spoke. One of the disciples, whom Jesus loved, was reclining at the table at Jesus' side. So Simon Peter mentioned to him to ask Jesus of whom he was speaking. So that disciple, leaning back against Jesus, said to him, Lord, who is it? Jesus answered, It is he to whom I will give this morsel of bread when I have dipped it. So when he dipped the morsel, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. Then after he had taken the morsel, Satan entered into him. Jesus said to him, What you are going to do, do quickly. Now no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought that because Jesus had the money bag, Jesus was telling him, Buy what we need for the feast, or that we should give something to the poor. So after receiving the morsel of bread, he went out immediately, and it was night. When he had gone out, Jesus said, Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and glorify him at once. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You will seek me, and just as I said to the Jews, so now I say to you, Where I am going, you cannot come. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Simon Peter said to him, Where are you going? Jesus answered him, Where I am going you cannot follow me now, but you will follow me afterwards. Peter said to him, Why can I not follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. Jesus answered, Will you lay down your life for me? Truly, truly, I say to you, the rooster will not crow until you have denied me 3 times. I think what stood out to me in this passage, or at least while I was reading it this week, is that you can essentially be a follower of Jesus or a believer of Jesus and not follow him. You see this in other scriptures like Matthew 7:21 through 23, where it says that not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, will enter into the kingdom. In this, you can see that Judas followed Jesus and was one of his disciples, and even still, he did not truly believe or let Jesus change his heart. True followers of Christ are seeking to be more like him consistently. And most of all of us fall short, myself included. One of the applications I took away from this is, what ways do my actions not match my claim to be a follower of Christ? I think this is something that we'll always struggle with as Christians, and it's obviously not for us to judge other people. Only God knows other people's hearts. But something to look at in ourselves is, do my actions match my claim to be a follower of Christ? Even Romans says, I desire to do what is right, but do not have the ability to carry it out, which is in Romans 7:18. Like I said, I'm guilty in this arena as well. I'm not perfect. The great thing is God has more grace than we have sin. Really strong passage. We have 2 more weeks in the Gospel of John, and then we'll be looking for a new study to start. God bless, and I'll catch you later.